Jalen Hurts in at quarterback for the first time today. And his pass.
I see Flacco goes week 1, starting, opening drive.
Season 2, episode 9 of What the Football. My name is Jeremy Horwath.
And I'm Chance Gardner.
And today we have a very, very special show. Eagles going up against the Raiders tomorrow, 4:05 game, going up against the head coachless Raiders. It's going to be a fun one. I think it's a game that we could actually have a chance of winning, which would be fantastic for this Eagles team. But we have much more to go over besides that. We're going to go into the Eagles-Raiders game to start off, talk about some injury updates, and then we have a fun little segment called To Trade or Not to Trade. Some guys on the Eagles that Chance and I would either trade or not to trade. Pretty obvious in the title. And then we'll go into more of a Nick Sirianni discussion, his grades over, different things that head coaches do, our grades on what he does throughout all of that. Also going in out of the Eagles, kind of talking more about the Bengals. If the Bengals are like the real deal, they're having a good season, going 4-2, having the best start since who knows how long, since I'm early Andy Dalton days. And then after that, we'll look into some of the week 7 games, some upsets we could see happening, some good games to keep an eye out for. And then we'll go into our usual power rankings, teams 1 through 32. I think our favorite part of the show. And that'll pretty much close it up for the show. But starting off, we have the Eagles versus Raiders tomorrow at 4:05 Eastern time. Again, going to be a fun game over in Las Vegas. I'm very excited for it. This definitely needs to be a win. Raiders are 4-2 right now. It would look really good and get a really good momentum shift going. Chance, what are your initial thoughts on the game?
Well, first of all, I hate 4:00 games. They're not either have it at the 1 o'clock spot or have it be a prime time. None of this 4:05 crap. Okay, I don't. It's so weird. Okay. And then I have to watch all the other crappy teams play before I watch the Eagles get absolutely walloped. I'm all footballed out by that time. But in all seriousness, I am excited. This should be a very interesting game. Hopefully we run the ball more because the Raiders have a terrible run defense. So, I mean, I know we say it pretty much every week, run the ball. We're sounding like a broken record.
Yeah.
But really, though, I think the Raiders have like the 26th worst rushing defense. And surprisingly, the Eagles have a top rushing attack, which you'd be like, what? How do we have a top rushing attack? Well, it's because Jalen Hurts scrambles every freaking play. That's why. So
he has to.
Yeah, he does. If he doesn't want to die behind this offensive line. No. Oh, God. No. Jalen Hurts, man.
Jalen Hurts. No, but it always feels weird starting off with a preview now, because last week we didn't do a preview. We did 2 recaps because we had the Sunday day game of the Carolina Panthers versus Eagles, and we had to go over the Buccaneers game on a Thursday night game. And as you guys all know, we go live every Saturday at 11 a.m. And so not starting off with a recap feels kind of weird, but this preview, I don't know. I'm more amped up for this game as we keep on talking about it. Hopefully, I know we need this win, and some things need to happen. Like things we've been saying about all season that the Eagles need to do is run the ball. If we run the ball, this could be I wouldn't say easy win, because that I keep on almost saying Oakland Raiders, but this Las Vegas Raiders team, they have a really high powered offense. That's going to be a little bit worrisome on defense for us. So it's going to have to be an offensive showing for both teams. But if we run the ball, I'm not that worried. This could be a game we could actually win. And in that Buccaneers game, Miles Sanders had a season high 9 rushes.
Wow.
And we were
9
losing.
Rushes.
And the crowd with their sarcasm was fantastic. Every time we ran the ball, they were as loud as when we won the damn Super Bowl. We had some DSM guys there. Dylan Davis was over there at the game, and he was there. And every time they ran the ball, he was cheering, and he was there like, this is Philly fans, man. Like the sarcasm, and Nick Sirianni knows it. That's why he continued to run it a few more times than normal. So when we run the ball a bit more, it's going to help win games. We're going to play a lot better. And it's so basic, just simple football. Is you just run the ball, and it makes more options for when you're passing the ball, plain and simple. And again, the only guy I'm really worried about on that Raiders defense is Max Crosby. That man has been absolute stud this year. Max Crosby is really good. He's really good, but someone that might help be able to stop that. There's a guy that is active this week. There's a guy that's active this week. Have you heard about this yet?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, Lane Johnson's back after missing 3 games. It's gonna be great. He took some time off mentally, which again is fine. If that's what he needs to do, that's what he needs to do. But he was very excited to come back to the team. He's been practicing all week, and he is 100% playing tomorrow. Can't wait for that. We need that lineman back. And now Mailata can go back to left tackle where he belongs, where he plays well, and Dillard's not on the damn field. That's what we need. I'm so excited about this. Like, I can't. This is going to switch. This is going to help us so much. Having Lane Johnson back, maybe he'll stop holding. Because that was a problem before he stepped away. Hey, he might. He took some time off. Maybe that's what he was really working on. He was like, stop holding. He just held his hands open the entire time for them 3 weeks. He was just like this the entire time, not holding anything. Maybe he'd stop holding. Oh, that's terrible. That was a terrible joke. Hey, better than your Kenneth Gainwell.
No, they can't. I think everybody who watches this enjoys when I make the Gaines yards well pun.
I don't know who's ever told you that
everybody
before.
likes it.
Yeah, sure. But what other keys to the game do you think we need to look out for besides running the damn ball? What else do you think really has to happen for this Eagles team to win this game over the Raiders?
Well, I think Jalen Hurts needs to play consistent and not turn the ball over. I mean, I know that may seem obvious, but
gotta point out the obvious.
Yeah. I gotta point it out for Nick Sirianni or whatever,
Yeah.
You think running the ball would be obvious, but
exactly.
No. But we need to get away from this RPO stuff.
Hey, we do. I agree.
Truly. It's really not working. It's probably Jalen Hurts' fault for most of this. Like, because sometimes you see him pull the ball when it doesn't make any sense. Like, he pulls the ball out of Miles Sanders' hands when there's no reason to, and then he loses 2 to 3 yards. It's just like just if you want to have a little, just read option it. Don't RPO. Yeah. Just take it out. Take out the passing game or whatever. Because if Jalen tries to extend it, guess what? You're gonna get an illegal man downfield penalty.
Which has happened a couple times so far.
It's happened a lot.
Danny over from YouTube says, stop Darren Waller. That, of course, is going to be very huge.
We stopped Darren. Done.
Yeah, definitely easier said than done. But if we can keep a hold on Darren Waller, who do you think is really going to be on him? Because Henry Ruggs is over there at receiver. They got Brian Edwards. Do you think Darius Slay might actually go on Darren Waller for this game? I know that Slay struggles against these big guys. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. But do you think that's something that they'll do?
Well, I mean, since we're primarily a man team, or not a man team, sorry, a zone team, I don't think there's really going to be any set matchups. I know we're going to try and scheme double teams on Waller, but we're also probably going to have to be scheming double teams for Ruggs.
Right, you're going to have someone deep most
plays. I mean, and the Eagles do. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody who watched the Fox broadcast last week heard everything about the Eagles and their too high look or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't know. I don't know who the announcer was, but they would not shut up about that. It's like, oh my God. Jeez.
Was it during the Bucs game?
Yeah, it was during the Bucs game.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, and I remember on Sunday against the Panthers, Greg Olsen wouldn't stop talking about their soft coverage that they do.
Their soft coverage.
They just
let you dot them up pretty much. Yeah.
That was Greg Olsen, man, over here all up on
Greg Olsen, a true analyst.
Yeah, true analyst. Man, I want him going so bad. I hope he never does another Eagles game. I loved him as a player too, but him as an analyst has ruined him entirely for me. And that's pretty much how it's going to be forever now. But yeah, somehow stopping Darren Waller, extremely important again. So if we can hold him down a little bit more, somehow against Ruggs, you're gonna have to have a safety playing deep most plays because you don't even
Every
want to.
play.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
cannot leave Ruggs
Mhm.
1-on-1. None of our corners are fast enough to keep going with this guy. I mean,
Right.
he's probably the third, fourth fastest player in the league, if not, better.
Right. And something that there is a pretty big neat weakness for the Raiders is their offensive line. And something that the Eagles have always done pretty well is having a good defensive line, getting some good pressures. Derek Barnett had, as much as people want to hate on him, he's been playing really well over the past couple weeks. And I'm sure he can get by on a lot of plays. We'll have Derek Barnett there. Fletch has got to step up. We know that Fletch is going to be in a couple more segments coming up
Yeah, he
soon
is.
later into the show. But Fletch has got to do some more. Hargrave, he's fine. I know he got injured last game, but he's fine, right? Is he back in?
Hargrave, I think, is back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's fine. So Hargrave, again, he'll do his thing. And then Josh Sweat, well, we just have a lot of guys at the D-line spot that can do some damage. And that's really what I think is going to win this game. If our D-line plays really well, get some pressures on Derek Carr, who is a lot better of a quarterback than people think. I think Derek Carr has always been a really good quarterback.
You think the world of Derek Carr, man.
I don't think the world of him, but I think he's better than people say. I mean, guys are putting him from like the 15 to 20 range and ranking of quarterbacks. I think that's extremely unfair. I don't like that.
We'll have to do a quarterback power rankings one of these days.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We can definitely we'll rank. Hey, me and Chance have fun doing rankings of any kind. You can see that as we make power rankings of 1 to 32 teams. And we always talk about how it is difficult and you're going to get judged for it, but it's fun. We'll go 1 through 32 for quarterbacks. We'll even throw some backups in there because there's some backups that are better than the starters in this damn league. But so we'll definitely do that. Actually, you know what? We're going to do it next week. That is going to be on the show for next week. We will do a quarterback
along with our Halloween special.
Halloween special next week. We are a day before Halloween. We will have our Halloween special. Have some good Halloween segments to go over. Some really good stuff going on next week. So make sure you tune next week for that show too. But yeah, Derek Carr's good. But if we get pressures on him, Josh Jacobs, we're going to have to stop. He has not been having his season, to say the least. So really, the only thing I'm worried about is Derek Carr and him passing it to his pretty good receivers. I mean, Edwards is pretty good. Ruggs is really good. Waller is one of the best tight ends in the league. They're good
about Renfro.
Right, yeah, I forgot about Renfro too.
He triple China route that he runs.
That's
route is the nastiest route in the league.
That is ridiculous. I remember seeing that route. That route was ridiculous. So it's not gonna be an easy game, but it's something that I think that this Eagles team can handle. Just depends on Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. That, as most teams are, it's on their head coach and quarterback. And let's be real here. So we're gonna see how that all goes. Do you have anything else for this Eagles versus Raiders preview?
No, I think we covered pretty much all of it. Fletch has to step up. D-line has to step up. Our linebackers have to step up. We actually have to wrap up and tackle here.
Yes.
That's where Derek does most of his damage. You always see the highlight plays that Ruggs makes, but I mean, to set that up, he's dinking and dunking all his way down the field.
Mm-hmm.
But, you can't, for as much as Josh Jacobs has been struggling, I don't think any one of these linebackers is going to be able to tackle him one-on-one.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. He's going to run through Alex Singleton just like Leonard Fournette did.
Which was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a shame because I like Alex Singleton, but we have to move on this offseason and draft like 3 linebackers.
We have to start hyping up these guys that play half decent. That's something that us Eagles fans do a lot. When we see a guy make a few good plays, we're like, this is the next guy. Like, this guy is really good.
We have.
And we get too excited about it. It happens all the time. It happened with Singleton already. And you know what I'm starting to get a little bit worried about? If it's going to start happening with Josh Sweat. I'm a little bit worried about if that's going to start happening. He hasn't done much this year. We signed him to a pretty big extension. Again, I've always loved Josh Sweat, but did I think too highly of him? Possibly. I possibly could have. I'm not really sure, honestly. But yeah, I think that's how. Again, Danny also says first home game without Gruden for the Raiders. Yeah, that is true. I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be. This team might be better without Gruden, honestly. Again, we've only seen one game, so we'll see how it keeps on going. Gruden was just bad for that entire team, the locker room, his whole presence. He's getting what he deserved, but we don't have to go too much into everything that happened. But I think this team is going to work out a lot better without Gruden. I think without everything that happened, I think he was an overrated coach anyway.
Oh, for sure.
He that one Super Bowl he won with the Bucks. He was given an amazing team. So I
He was
again,
gifted a super team. Let's be real
exactly.
here.
So
Tony
I'm really
Dungy did all the work for that.
exactly. So I don't want to think he did anything much. So I'm glad to see he's out of this league, and he actually is taken away from Madden as well. If you saw that chance, he is
Yeah, I
no
noticed
longer
that.
in Madden. You were taken away from Madden. That's nuts.
Come on now.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of the Eagles versus Raiders preview. Besides, actually, I can't believe I forgot this score prediction for this Eagles Raiders game. Chance, what do you have for the score of this game? You got an Eagles win or the Raiders?
It's a home game for the Raiders, but they don't have John Gruden.
Mhm.
I think the Eagles have a shot to win this.
I think so too.
I think, and we've said this every week. It feels
Every
like
week, it
every
feels like-
week we.
Hey, the
like,
past
"Oh,
couple
the
weeks we
Eagles
haven't
have-"
done it. We gave them a loss against the Panthers, and for our first time we had them losing, I think was against the Panthers,
and they won.
and they won.
Of course,
And of course I know, and of course we forgot to do a prediction on the Bucks because we're not very smart because we were like, oh yeah, we'll just preview the Bucks next week again, but it was a Thursday night
yeah, that
game.
wasn't.
But we have had the Eagles winning a lot of times, and we just can never get it right.
I do think the Eagles will win this game. I think it'll be probably like 28-24, something like that.
Okay, so a closer game.
Closer game, yeah.
Okay, so 28-24 you got. You're locking it in?
Yep, that's what I'll take.
I like that. I like that. You see, now I think we're gonna have to score a lot, and for some reason we do it in the fourth quarter. We start to score a lot, so I'm sure the Raiders have a pretty decent pretty decent lead going into the fourth quarters. I do think they're going to score a lot on us. When I'm trying to be realistic, I'm just for the show's purpose. I want to see the Eagles are going to win, but I really just don't see it really happening. I think we'll start a comeback, and we're just not going to get it in the end like normal. I think it's going to be a very
as per usual.
So I'm going to be kind of close to you. I'm going to kind of flip flop it. So instead of 28-24 Eagles, I'm actually going to go 31-24 Raiders. I'm going to have them by a touchdown. I think that's fair.
Wow, a whole 7 points.
I think they can win by 7. I mean, unless we go for 2 for no reason at the end and we win like
that was
31 to 20. I don't even know. Like 31-25. I don't know. Some stupid stuff like that. That's more of the Eagles' way to do it. But I do think it's going to be a Raiders win by about a touchdown. I wouldn't bet on this game. If you're a betting man, I would not bet on this game at all. This Raider Eagles, I think it's a disaster going into it. So definitely, my opinion, I would not bet on it. But that is our score predictions for this week. Next up, we do have some Nick Sirianni grades. That's what we're going to go into a little bit. We're going to go through some categories of Nick Sirianni. We're going to grade him based on them categories. Chance, starting off, his playmaking. Man, I'm struggling. His play calling ability. What would you grade him? Just like as if it was school basis, A, B, C, D, F. Where would you grade Nick Sirianni for play calling so far?
So far, like as the whole season?
Yes.
Or okay. I'd give him a C+.
That's very nice of you.
Very
Look, okay, explain why it's not lower, because I think a lot of Eagles fans are going to disagree with you on that one.
Okay, well, the only person that I would ever put in the A category is Sean McVay. Let's be real here, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so give you a little bit of a I don't know, a base. I don't know, a base to go off of.
Yeah.
I'm lost for words right now. Look, Nick Sirianni shows some slight promise. Okay, I don't want Eagles fans to be like, "Oh, he's the worst coach ever since Ray Rhodes," or whatever. But yes, he needs to run the ball more. Yes, this RPO stuff is annoying, but he does seem to know, like, at first I didn't think he knew anything about how to beat a defense. Right. I really was like, oh, he just has something that he wants to work on here. He has a scheme that he's just going to force it, and that's bad. But I've watched a lot of like film breakdowns and whatnot, and he knows how to beat a lot of different concepts that the defense will throw at you. and he's smart enough to, at least come up with stuff that should theoretically work. Now, does Jalen make it work? No.
But Sirianni knows that.
Exactly. That's why I have it lower. Maybe probably not a C+, probably a C. But he at least shows some promise, is what I'm trying to get at. But his scheme and the players that he puts in positions it makes no sense.
But that involves play calling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a double-edged sword at this point. Like,
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. I can see. I'm not going to give him an F yet. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to give him an F.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get. I'm going to give him a D right now. And I think that's kind of fair. D- even maybe. His play calling's been really bad. He has noticed what has been happening. He's noticed the RPO is not Jalen Hurts cannot run an RPO, and he knows there's no way he doesn't know that after all these games. He has to notice right now, and he hasn't changed anything. When something's broken, fix it, and he hasn't put any effort to do that. The most thing he did was run the ball a few extra times against the Buccaneers, and I think that was because the fans cheered so much, and he was like, "Oh, we'll give him what they want." I think it was more of that than more of that's what he wanted. Miles Sanders, is yards per carry, and of course, it's very limited to everyone else.
Inflated,
right? It's very, very inflated, but the guy he's rushing really well, and the defense is probably looking for a pass every time he runs the ball because they're never going to expect him to run the ball anymore. So yes, it is very inflated, but he's doing great. Like I don't know the exact numbers, but I know he's averaging like 4 or 5 yards a carry.
It's 4.7 yards a carry. That's 14th in the league. Yep.
That's really good.
However,
I know it's inflated.
It's very inflated. Yes.
Very inflated. Yes. But still run the damn ball. The fact he doesn't have double-digit carries yet this year, which is insane to me. It is insane.
You know how many he has on the year?
9. Oh, hold on. So there's 6 games. 9 was his highest, and I'm gonna say 4 is the average. I'm gonna say 29 carries. That's my guess.
Okay, that's a little low.
How much is he at?
He's got 57 total attempts.
Miles Sanders is 57 rushes this year.
That's 32nd in the league.
He's over 50. We played 6 games, right?
Yep, we played 6 games.
How is he averaging? Has he had double-digit carrying games then? He has to have. Because he had 1 rush in 1 game before.
That's what it says according to ESPN. 57 total attempts, 32nd. He has 270 yards, which is 29th. He has no touchdowns.
Yeah, I know that.
It's
rough.
That's very rough.
Very rough.
No touchdowns.
So again, if you're not running that running is so terrible. Guys actually are getting open. Devontae Smith has been getting open this year. We have seen a lot of plays where he's wide open and Jalen just doesn't make the play. But I think for play calling, Nick Sirianni is just he's not good. And pretty soon, I'll give him a few more weeks. He's only had 6 games of play calling, but he hasn't fixed anything yet. And if this continues for a few more games straight, I'm already going to put his play calling as an F. And if you're a head coach and you don't have good play calling, then what the hell are you a head coach for? That's the most important thing as a head coach. What the hell are you there for? Why are you there? So that has been what's very frustrating to me. Is there anything else that you actually like about Nick Sirianni as a head coach? Do you like his t-shirts?
I love his t-shirts.
Of course you do.
I love the I don't know why people give him such a big gripe about the t-shirts. I think it's great.
Because
I love it.
I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
I don't know. You'd hate if most other people did it too.
I'd hate it if the Cowboys wore t-shirts. I'd hate that.
Why?
Because I hate the Cowboys.
You'll just hate anything that they do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, I think that's gonna be all we're gonna talk about with Nick Sirianni today. I'm done with Nick Sirianni today already. He just frustrates me in general. But we are going to go on to a new segment for today, and that's going to be to trade or not to trade. We're going to go through a couple players that are on this Eagles team, and we would say if we would want to trade them or not, what value they have, what we think we can get back for them, and what's the least we'll do to actually get rid of them. So first player on our list, I know we're both thinking about this one. Chance. Fletcher Cox, to trade or not to trade?
Absolutely to trade.
Absolutely
Are you
trade. I
kidding me?
agree with you. Now, what's something you think we can get for Fletcher Cox? Where could you see him going? What could we get back from him? And what's something like what is the least amount you'd trade him for?
Ideally, you'd want to get that first round pick. That's not going to happen.
Not anymore.
There's no way you get a first round pick. I don't even think you can get a second round pick.
Probably not at this
Not
point.
at least not in this year's draft. Maybe
Yeah.
a second round pick for next year's draft, which is still I would take that.
Yeah.
But I think you're likely looking at this year's probably third round pick and then probably like a 6
Yeah.
for Fletcher Cox. Because
I
you
think
have to
that's
keep in mind he hasn't been very productive.
Not
you
at
know.
all.
He's got the 1 sack, the 1 touchdown, which was caused by a forced fumble by
it
Javon
was pretty much
Hargrave.
given to him.
Yeah, it was gifted. It just
Yeah.
fell into his arms or
Yes.
whatever. He's in the single digits for pressures and quarterback hits, single digits for tackles. I don't think he has any TFLs. If he does, it's maybe 1 or 2.
Ridiculous.
So he's basically the only thing we'd be trading him for is his name value.
His name. Yeah, 100% at this point. And he wasn't
So-
productive last year either.
Yeah. So I think the Eagles should try and trade him for a third round pick this year.
Which is crazy.
He is also the highest paid person on our whole team.
He is.
Like that's crazy, and we're getting no production out of him.
Nothing. Where do you think we could see Fletcher go if we were to trade him?
I think there's 3 potential teams. The Chiefs are the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
The
see
Chargers,
that.
and possibly the Colts.
Wow. Could you imagine? Now, as much as we talk about Fletcher Cox and how he's not productive, but just here again, his name, I feel like that's just worth a lot. Now imagine if Fletcher Cox and DeForest Buckner in that middle.
It
That'd
would
be
be
nuts.
pretty scary.
That'd be nuts. And this his contract year, or is that in 2 years?
I think that's in 2 years.
2 years, yeah. So which would be worth more because they'd have another year over him. And just like Danny said over here, I just had it up. Fletcher Cox will be 31 in December. His age is coming up on him. That is some interesting. You said Chargers, Chiefs, and Colts.
Yeah.
And I could see all of them. Obviously the Chiefs, and somehow they'd find a way to get Fletch from us. Wouldn't be surprised if they take something away from us, just like how the Colts took Matt Pryor from us.
Oh no, Matt Pryor. I'm gonna go cry now about Matt Pryor.
That could be very interesting. Okay, another one of trade or not to trade. Okay, this is an interesting one. Would you trade Darius Slay?
Nah.
He's very valuable now. I know he's a lot of money. You could probably get a good amount for him. Would you do it, or you'd want to keep him locked up?
I'd want to keep him locked up.
Okay.
I mean, I think he is kind of overhyped a little bit. I mean, if you look at his PFF grades, yes, he's like one of the best cornerbacks. But if you put him in man coverage, it ain't working too well. He has a 47.9 grade in man coverage.
Right.
So not very many teams are running. I mean, there's some teams that run zone, but I mean, you want a guy that can at least like man up and whatnot.
Right. No, I agree. I do agree with keeping him. Okay, ready? Here's this. Get ready for this one. Ready?
Mhm.
The entire offensive line. Would you, okay, not the whole thing, but damn near the whole offensive line, just say a package of Jason Kelce, Brandon Brooks, and Lane Johnson. Would you trade them all right now, all the older guys?
If I could, I would. Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to get anything for Jason Kelce.
Yeah, because he's probably
And
going to
I
retire
think
this
you'd
year.
get a lot of backlash for trading him.
Take away the backlash, because we can get a lot of backlash for a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we'd want to trade Brandon Graham, but you get a lot of backlash for trading Brandon Graham. He said his entire career that he wants to stay an Eagle no matter what.
I think you could get a 6th-round pick from Kelce. I think teams know that if they trade for him, they're getting him for this season and this season only. You know?
Yep. 100%.
And he's going to retire after it.
He is. But Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson are the interesting ones, really, part of this. They're still worth a lot. Brandon Brooks actually, both of them have lowered it a lot because of their injuries and just taking time off regardless. Whether it's a bad situation or not. It just doesn't make them look better to get traded, which of course they don't have to care about at all. But Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson, you'd get rid of both of them. You said, what do you think we could get for them together? Or it would probably both be separate trades if it were to happen. What's something you think that we could get for Brooks and Johnson? And where are some destinations that you think that they could both go to?
That's a tough one. I think
Definitely a tough
for
one.
Brandon Brooks, I think you could get a first round pick out of him.
Really?
I think probably not this year, probably in next year's first round pick. But I definitely think, some teams are really looking at that. You could probably even get a first for Lane. Do I think that's likely? No, I think the unless a team is really desperate, and I don't think there's really any desperate teams for right guards or right tackles. I mean,
well, the
maybe
Chiefs kind of need Lane Johnson, right?
The Chiefs do need a right tackle. That's right.
Yeah.
They offloaded Mitchell Schwartz in the offseason, and they haven't found a good replacement for him. Do I think that they would? Maybe we could do a package deal. That's what we could do with the Chiefs.
That'd be interesting.
Package Fletcher Cox and Lane Johnson to them for a first round pick.
I'd be all right with that. I'd be so okay. Even if it's going to be a late first round pick, I'd be okay.
It would never happen.
No,
though.
It wouldn't, but I'd be okay
The
with
cap
that.
hit alone from those two would just absolutely
insane.
destroy the Chiefs.
Right.
So, but, what team would Brandon Brooks go to?
You kind of just think of teams that would need a guard at the time. I don't think there's anyone really specific at this time. It would just be once there's an injury, and then Brandon Brooks would go there to get injured as well. I think is what would really happen.
Yeah.
Any other guys on this list that you could see show up to trade or not to trade?
I think the Jalen Reagor has been talked about being traded a decent bit. Would I trade him? No.
What is okay? Obviously there would be circumstances where you would trade him for a certain amount. What's the least amount you'd trade him for?
Least amount? A second round pick.
You trade Reagor for a second round pick?
I'd trade Reagor for a second round pick. Yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, I don't know how much that would how likely that could be. Danny Ash, do you know what Lane Johnson missed time for? Lane Johnson missed time due to
he was battling with mental issues and depression. He stated.
He was battling with all that, and he's not coming back. So I hope all is well with him.
He is coming back.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I hope he's doing better mentally. And I'm happy he's back. Lane has gone through this a couple times now. What was it, last year? The year before, he also did this. And if that's what he needs, that's what he needs. I'm not going to hold anyone accountable for that.
Especially if we were losing and whatnot. It don't matter.
No, yeah.
Who cares?
What's going on in your head is way more important than what's happening on the field at the end of the day. So that's what Lane Johnson missed for, and I'm very happy he's back, and I hope he's doing a lot better. But going back into Jalen Reagor, I'd trade him. I don't think getting him a second round. I don't think getting a second round pick. Again, that's why you stated that'd be the lowest. That it's probably not going to happen. I don't think anyone would trade a second round pick for Jalen Reagor. He hasn't proved that, and sadly, we wasted a first round pick on him. So I think, I agree. I think taking the risk on him and just letting him go, let him go and see if he can ball out. Something can happen. He hasn't been doing much this year. Again, I wish I could say I felt better about Jalen Reagor, but I really don't. I really don't. It's very frustrating because that's someone that should be very important on this team.
Yeah, waste of a first round pick. Absolutely.
Waste of a first round pick. All right, now going away from the Eagles in general, we're going to talk about this Bengals team. They've been really intriguing me. They are 4-2 this year. Now, again, they've faced some bad teams, and I seem to always go into the teams that beat the bad teams, and I get very interested in them. I was very interested in the Broncos in the first couple of weeks, and in my power rankings, I had them as high as like.
You had them in like
14
your
or 13. I had them around there. I don't think I have them extremely lower than that at this point. But again, we'll get into that more. I'm not really sure where I have the Broncos this week. But so that's a little bit disappointing. But this Bengals team, Joe Burrow is a stud. Playing in simple. Joe Burrow is an absolute amazing player. I was someone that was very low on Joe Burrow. I thought that was a bad first overall pick. I didn't think he was
Yeah,
gonna
you were a Tua fan.
I was a Tua
How
fan.
does that
You were
pan
too.
out?
You were too. You liked
I was
Tua.
a fan. Yeah,
I thought Tua should have been the first pick. I
I
thought
did not think that.
I thought the
did not.
Dolphins were gonna and I thought the Chargers were idiots for not picking Tua.
I thought the Chargers
Again,
were idiots as well.
when I'm wrong, I will admit it, and I make some stupid takes, and I don't think I was really stupid for the take I had.
No,
I think
he was supposed to be the consensus number one overall for years. People were saying 10 for Tua.
Yeah, exactly. And Joe Burrow, he was great in college. He had that great year in LSU.
Probably the greatest
LSU.
college season by a quarterback at least.
But I didn't think he'd translate well to the NFL. Boy, was I wrong. How much of a fan I am of Joe Burrow now. Watching him play football is absolutely it is awesome. I love watching him play. And again, as we will be talking about the week 7 schedule coming up too, but the Bengals have their first really big test this week against the Ravens. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. We'll get into that game more. The Bengals are 4-2, playing really well. What are your thoughts on the Bengals? Do you think they have do you think they're the real deal? Are they going to maybe even sneak out a playoff spot this year?
I definitely think they are the real deal. I mean, if you look at their opponents, week 1, they beat the Vikings 27-24, and you're like, oh, well, the Vikings, I mean, the Vikings are pretty sneaky.
They're sneaky good.
They're clawing their way up.
They are.
And then they lost to the Bears, unfortunately, which is that's not good.
No.
That's really not
Plain
good.
and simple, no.
Beat the Steelers. That's not impressive. The Steelers are awful.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the Jaguars. Also not that impressive. Held in there with the Packers, though.
They did.
They could have won that game. Now, if their kickers, if both of the kickers were better, Packers would have absolutely won. Yeah, yep.
Just like what Danny says.
Bengals Packers tough. Yes. So they hung in there, and then they absolutely smoked the Lions 34-11 last week, and that's what you want to see. You want to see beat up on the bad teams.
Yep.
And the Bengals are now starting to hit their stride, it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, the test against the Ravens tomorrow is definitely something AFC North fans should
keep an eye on.
You know,
Definitely.
Especially them Browns fans. They're a little worried about their playoff spot right now. If you lose a spot to the Bengals after all this hype you've gotten.
Hey, I still have the Browns high. I just think they're going through a little bit of a rough patch, but again, we'll talk about that more in the power rankings. But this Bengals team, dude, they have some just really good players, and their depth pieces are playing really well. They have honestly one of the best safeties in the league, Jesse Bates over there. Jesse Bates is an incredible player over there. Joe Burrow is great. Joe Mixon has been playing great. Jamar Chase is probably the offensive rookie of the year right now. He made some amazing plays. Did you see that block?
1,500 yards.
You see that block he made?
Oh, for Joe Mixon down the sideline?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Better than Penei Sewell blocking, man. Put Jamar at left tackle.
That I love it, though. I love this Bengals team. They're exciting to watch. You're rooting for an underdog. I think the Bengals are the clear-cut team to be rooting for, even though they're 4-2. It's crazy. I know, again, we went through the teams they've beaten. Not the greatest wins, but they're keeping up with the good teams, and I don't know. I'm excited to see the rest of the season unfold. These Bengals fans have got to be really excited. Got to be really excited.
Yeah, it's the first thing to excite them in the last 40 years, probably. Oh my God, we have a football team? What?
All right, now we'll get into the week 7 games to keep an eye out for. In my eyes, when I look at the schedule, there is not a ton of exciting games going on in my eyes. I think I have about 3 really exciting games to go over. And if you're an Eagles fan, then you have a game to watch throughout the entire day, in my eyes. 1:00 game, you got to check out that Chiefs-Titans game. That's probably the game of the week. Titans coming off a huge win over the Bills, and the Chiefs are looking to hopefully come back from this rut that they're in. So that's going to be exciting. Both of them coming off of some big weeks coming ahead. And also at 1:00, you have the Bengals versus Ravens. Also keep an eye on that. I'm going back and forth on them games the entire time. Might even put 2 TVs up for that one. That's going to be exciting. At 4, the 4:00 games aren't that exciting. You have the Eagles Raiders. So if you're an Eagles fan, by all means watch that. Other than that, you have the Rams versus Lions, which that's going to be.
It's going to be a beat down.
We also starting at 4:25. We have 2 games. We have the Cardinals versus Texans. That's going to be just as bad, if not worse. And then at 425, also we have the Buccaneers versus Bears. That one, I guess, is the more interesting one out of the rest of the 4 o'clock games, but that is still probably a beat down. Also, we have the Colts versus 49ers for Sunday Night Football. I think it's going to be a good game. I think they are pretty close as teams in general. I do. I know you probably don't think that. But I think that's going to be an interesting game. I think the Colts could probably sneak one out, possibly. And then Monday night, I think of a pretty boring game between the Saints and the Seahawks. If Drew Brees was still there and Russell Wilson was healthy, it'd be a fun game to watch. But I really don't want to see Jameis Winston going up against Geno Smith. So I'm not going to be watching the Monday night game at all. But some very exciting games. Chance, do you see? If you have the schedule up, what upsets could you possibly see happen? I don't want to hear anything like Lions beating the Rams or Texans beating the Cardinals. Don't give me nothing like that. But just look around the schedule. What do you see as some possible upsets?
I do think the Bengals have a shot to beat the Ravens.
I agree.
People might call me crazy for that. It is a home game for the Ravens, though. I have to keep that in mind.
You do.
That would be a very hard fought battle for the Bengals. But if they pull that out, I think everybody's going to be talking about them. Even if they just hang in there.
Yeah.
They don't even have to win. If they just keep it close, a one possession game the whole time, lose by only like 4 or 5 points, something like that.
Right.
A little under a touchdown.
People are going to be happy.
People are going to be talking about them.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you're going to get momentum and you're like, hey, we hung in here with the Ravens, who are probably, a lot of people's number 1 overall team right now. I don't believe that, but
right.
That I definitely could see that. Chiefs Titans. I don't know who you'd call the underdog in that.
Well, technically through betting odds, the Chiefs are favored to win. So the underdogs are technically the Titans.
And I would take the Titans.
There you go.
I would absolutely take the Titans. I mean, they're coming off of a win against the Bills, and the Bills the Bills beat the Chiefs. I mean,
yeah, by a good margin,
by a fair bit. Yeah. So I mean, it's all in the matchups, but yeah, I definitely.
And Titans are home as well.
Ooh, yeah. I really like the Titans there. Then
yeah, definitely.
I bet on that. Definitely. That's a really good one. If anybody cares about Panthers Giants, the Giants have a possibility to win that game. The Panthers are not who we thought they were.
If the Giants weren't full of injuries, I would say Giants, but that one kind of scares me. A question I do want to ask you: Colts Niners, and I know that you're a little bit more harsh on the Colts, which is fair. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. And the Niners are 2-3. They lost to some good teams though. What are kind of your thoughts on that Sunday night game? What do you think is really going to happen? Obviously, the 49ers are favored, and the 49ers are home, which is going to be pretty huge for them. But what do you see happening for that Sunday night game?
Well, I think it should be a pretty interesting game, to say the least. I mean, we have 2 very interesting quarterbacks. Trey Lance is getting the start. I think Garoppolo is still going to be injured for another handful of weeks, I think, right?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive on the Garoppolo news.
I don't know too much about their situation.
Right.
And I'm very 2 similar quarterbacks. They're both
North Dakota State
from
NDS.
Yep. So that's and they both play pretty much similar. I mean,
same
obviously Trey Lance, still is young and hasn't torn his ACL and had all the injuries that Wentz is, so
and broke his back, and
it's Wentz versus the more interesting version of Wentz right now.
Yes.
So
yes,
it should be a good game. I'll probably watch that one.
Yeah, it's primetime game. Do some other stuff while you watch the game.
Exactly.
Play some Madden.
Work on the exactly. Work on the custom rosters and draft classes and whatnot. Yeah.
Or we can work on our quarterback rankings.
Ooh, there we go. I'll work on the graphic for that. We need a graphic for the Halloween special, anyways. Too.
We will, we will do that. Gonna have a really good show next week. All right. Well, I think that's gonna be it for the.
We got the power rankings.
I was saying for the week 7
Sorry.
games. Don't get ahead of yourself. I know you're excited about the power rankings. That's what I'm getting to.
Excited.
So I'm getting to. Hey, this is probably our most exciting time for the show for both of us. We love doing this power rankings. We work really hard on them. So everyone that's watching, drop your comments on your thoughts on our power rankings. Who you like more? What do you think is crazy? Oh, real quick, Jimmy G's playing and Lance is out.
That's boring. Never mind. I'm not watching that game. Boring.
But we get very excited for these power rankings. So drop your comments down below. Whose do you like more? What do you think? What are some crazy takes? But here you go. On the left side is my power rankings. I am Jeremy. Sorry to tell you guys. I'm Jeremy. Power rankings on the left, and Chance is on the right. So get a good look at all this, and pretty soon you'll have us back on the screen. I know it's probably better that we're off the screen now for you guys. You guys are probably a little bit more excited about that one. But yeah, some very interesting takes on both sides, which we will go over both of our rankings, some problems that each of us have with each other's list. We always go into each other on this one. This is where we get annoyed with each other the most on the show, I'd say. So Chance, I'll let you go first. Take some shots. What do you like or dislike about these power rankings?
Let's see. Your top 5: Cardinals, Bills, Rams, Ravens, Packers. A little high on the Packers, I suppose.
You're right. You have them at 6.
Only one more than me, though.
Yeah,
you're still high on the Browns, though.
Look. Browns I think they're having a rough patch. I'm still gonna have them at 6. I think this team is still really good. I really think this team is still really good. They're gonna be a problem.
They're not. I don't think they're gonna win the AFC North anymore.
No, I have the Ravens at 1, but I think they're gonna get above the Bengals. I think they're gonna make the playoffs, and I think they could do some damage.
Let's see. Chargers. We both have the Chargers in the same realm. You're finally jumping on this Titans bandwagon, even a little bit more than I am.
Yeah,
now, which is kind of crazy.
Just by a tad.
I mean,
to
think I think you had the like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. You had the Titans in like
19.
Yeah, 19, I
had 19 a couple weeks ago.
Area. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Derrick Henry is the only thing that's changing this. That's all I want everyone to know is because it's Derrick Henry. It's because of Derrick Henry. I want everyone to know that. Jason here says Raiders at 15. LOL. So do they move up if they beat the Eagles and go 5-2? Which one of us have the Ravens at 15? Is that me?
That's you.
That's me. Yeah,
I'm high on the Raiders.
I am high on the Raiders. If they had a better head coach, I think it'd be a little bit better. But yeah, I have the Raiders at 15. They're a very average team. As you can see, I have them as the most average team in the league. They're 4-2 right now. They're playing decently well. They have a really good offense. Obviously, their defense struggles a little bit, but their offense is so high powered. When you look at teams under them, I think they're going to beat all those teams. I think them and the Colts are really close, and I think they would. I think they'd beat the Saints, Panthers. You keep on going down. I don't think the Raiders are a great team. I think the teams below them are just a lot worse. That's kind of my thoughts on the Raiders.
Now, if the Raiders lose to the Eagles here,
they're down.
How much do you drop them?
Very, very much.
They fall that 24 spot.
I haven't moved the Eagles once this year. They have not moved from 23 for me.
Really?
I have noticed.
They've moved up and down for me.
They have been at, I don't know how it always happens, but the Eagles have been at 23 since week 1, and now we're at week 7, and you have never had to put any number next to them. You've never done it once yet.
I just realized that. That's
everyone
amazing.
else has moved around besides the Jaguars. I think
You're just doing it to mess with me at this point.
Dude, I'm not though. Every team besides the Eagles and Jaguars have moved around a little bit. That is the only teams. I don't know how the Jaguars, whatever. I think we both have them at 32. But the Eagles somehow have not moved for me. And I guess that really means they're a 23 ranked team in the league for me. I don't really know what it is. But yeah, if the Raiders lose, they're getting moved out a good bit, for sure. If they lose, then I'm very wrong on this team. Then I'm very wrong. Then I'm very wrong. But I don't think I am that wrong. I moved the Bears up +4, by the way.
I see that.
So I filled in for Scotty on Turf Talk earlier this week, I believe it was. I think it was Monday, and over on Turf Talk, they do their pigskin picks, and they always have someone, whoever's on the show, they do a lock of the week and the upset of the week. And my upset of the week, they I forget what they picked. It was a really good one they had, but I wanted to go off on a limb here, and I thought if I was right, I would have sounded incredible on Turf Talk. Would have been great. I had the Bears upsetting the Packers, and I almost had it. The Bears actually almost won that game, but they got slowed down at the end. Them. Yeah, and then Rodgers legit said, "I still own you," and that guy is amazing. My God, Aaron Rodgers knows your stud. I know it was a crazy take, but that's kind of mine. Danny says over here, Niners in the top 10 seems high. They definitely are. I do have them at 10, which is a little bit too much. Now they're 2-3, and they're having a struggling year. But once they figure out this quarterback situation more, they have, in my eyes, a top 2 head coach in the league, and Kyle Shanahan. Him and Sean McVay are right there. I think if you really flip a coin, you don't really know which one's really better.
No, I think Sean McVay is leagues ahead.
I don't know about that, but they're right there. They're right there. So maybe they are a little bit high. But again, when I make my power rankings, I like to say I wouldn't base it over, this team would beat this team. But I just think they'd beat all the teams that are above them. And I don't know, maybe in the end they wouldn't, but that's definitely my take on it. It seems like everyone's having a problem with my list. You see that? No comments on your list yet.
Because I'm good at this, and you're not.
You're good at this. You're good at this.
Mm-hmm.
See, now, like when I try and see problems on yours, I keep on seeing things where we have the same. I can't even like hate on your list, really.
See?
Shut up, dude. Stop. So, I mean, you have the Bucks at 2. You think the Bucks are second best team in the league? It's fair.
Yeah.
I know they're 5-1, but I don't know if I can put them at 2. I think the Bucks are. I think that's really high. I mean, they just beat the Eagles by 6 points. If they were one taunting call away from possibly losing that game.
We have to keep in mind that we only got points off of pass interferences.
That's still their faults.
I mean, I guess. I don't
know if I can put the Bucks that high. I still have them at 7. I think that's pretty fair for the Bucks.
That's pretty low on the reigning Super Bowl champion.
Is that really what we're gonna do? Okay, well the reigning AFC champions in the Chiefs, and you have them at, what do you have them at? 7. Right where I have my Bucks.
Okay.
You see where I have the Chiefs, by the way?
Yeah, you have the Chiefs at 12.
Yeah.
What?
Screw the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. Jason Elder says, I didn't even know they have them at 21. Raiders are number 11 in front of Chiefs. Wait, what?
I think he means for his own person.
For Raiders number 11 in front of Chiefs. Defense is sneaky good. Mad Max, Crosby, Unit, and Hayward.
Casey Hayward is a very good cornerback. I like him.
So I guess he doesn't like you having him at 21. Is that what I guess that's what you're saying?
Look, they're gonna lose to the Eagles here, and I'm gonna look like a genius. Okay.
You could be. Danny also says Brown's too low on chances.
Well, that's because you're probably a Browns fan.
If you're a Browns fan, Danny, please let us know in the comments. That would be hilarious if you actually were a Browns fan. If you just called that.
No, he is. He's got to be. I know.
Okay.
I know exactly.
No, but I think that's really the only problems I have with yours. I wish you had the Dolphins at 31 to make me feel a little bit better, but I guess that's not really a very important thing. Something else. Look at the Jets moving up for us.
Yeah, they're moving up in the world.
I got them at 27. You got them at
27.
Okay,
wow.
Look, this is because of Lions are 0-6. Dolphins just lost to the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are bad. So I'm okay with having them through them ones lower. The Giants, once they get their injury situations figured out, they're higher than the Jets, but right now they're not. I think the Giants are really bad with all these injuries. Even Tony, I think, is out. Kadarius Toney. So I don't even know who's playing wide receiver for them right now. And I don't even know, is Daniel Jones playing after that concussion? Because if Mike Glennon's playing,
then they're probably even worse.
So that's why I have them so low this week. And the Texans, I think, are just a really bad team. So again, I don't think the Jets are really deserving of being that high as they are. But yeah. Okay. So Jason does agree. He agrees more with them at 15 for me. I appreciate that. I feel better about that.
I'm okay with being the villain here. I'm okay.
Well, usually that's me. And Danny does say, indeed, he is a Browns fan. And Jones is, Daniel Jones is in. Okay. Okay, cool. So that makes him a little bit better, but I don't think Daniel Jones is a great quarterback. But
no, they're going to move off of him probably this offseason here.
But I think that's my only problems. You had nothing to say about the Colts because you have them ranked right next to mine. So,
well,
yeah. All right. Anything else you got to say about these power rankings?
No, well, I think we covered everything. I
definitely think we covered it all. The most fun part about our show is looking at these power rankings. We got some more stuff coming up. This Saturday, we do have our Halloween special. Gonna have our top ranked quarterbacks and all the other stuff going on. We're gonna have some more interesting stuff going on. 2 weeks from now, so not the Halloween special, but 2 weeks from now, I do know we have DSM Media Zone, Scotty Drown joining the show. He's joining the show for us in 2 weeks. That's going to be a lot of fun. He's over on Turf Talk, and he now has his NBA show, Scotty Talks, which is our best NBA show on. He's awesome, man. Scotty over there, and we're very excited to see him join the show. We'll get his thoughts on this Eagles season so far. He's very knowledgeable. He knows it all. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But Halloween show next week, I know we're very excited about it. Again, maybe get another DSM media guy on the show. We'll be talking to a lot of other people getting on these shows, but it's definitely been a lot of fun so far. So keep on joining 11 a.m. every Saturday. Real quick, we're going to run an ad real quick, and then we'll be right back with you. DSM Media is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code DSM at Manscaped. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn a 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. And did I mention the wireless charging? The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DSM at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using code DSM. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. 20% off and free shipping using code DSM. Come on, man. You got that new lawnmower. You got to be using it. It's some great stuff, and you have a great 20% off and free shipping. You really can't beat that. So just use code DSM at checkout. That's code DSM for 20% off and free shipping at checkout. Chance, great show again. Very always happy to have this. Very longer than we thought. Well,
I thought this was only going to be 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a lot to talk about. Always so much to talk about. I can't imagine if we also had a recap to talk about during this too. We'd have a very, very long show. But it's been very fun. Chance, anything else you want to say?
Nah, I'm good, man.
All right. Thank you guys all for watching. Leaving comments. It's really good. Danny ends us off with Go Birds. I appreciate that again.
Go Birds.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And this has been What the Football.